darkness that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children too, who are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's in everyone, and as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. That is all for today from MOT. It's a no life for us. It's a no life for us.
Sometimes in our life,
Before we start, we would like to just tell you what you can expect. There will be a 40 minutes theater play before you, and after that a discussion. The reason for this initiative is to talk about money, and something that we are all occupied with, which is economical transformation in this country and sharing of money. So we would love to have your say after the play, how you feel about it, and to share with us your opinions on what we are presenting today. Before we start, could I just ask you, who here knows what capitalism is? If you could just raise your hand if you know what capitalism is. Capitalism is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? Then we will try to explain it to you how we see what capitalism is. Thank you guys and enjoy.
Sorry, are you the audience of the Halfbread? This is for you. Where's the Halfbread technician? Oh, this is for you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you for opening the box. You are a hero. You stepped out of the crowd. Imagine a sinking ship. You would have been the first one plunging the hole and saving all the others. Thank you for your sense of responsibility. Now please, now you can stand behind the lecture stand and read out loudly the following text by using the microphone.
name is Martin Schick. I am 35 years old and I am an artist. I mainly work in theatre, around the theatre, for the theatre and beyond. Whatever that means, I do quote this successfully. And why this is so, you can try to understand tonight. I grew up in Switzerland and I am then also legally Swiss. Since 1 year, I am sponsored by the foundation Nestlé Pure Art. I get 8,000 euro per year during 3 years. This money is meant for Swiss artists in order to have a rest. And the only thing I have to do in exchange is to show their logo once in a while. This is the logo. That's why I could not come today. I'm having a rest, being paid for it. But I'm sure you can do it easily without me. Maybe you can do it even better. All you need is this box. Tonight, we got 3,400 Rand for this performance. I'm sorry, I took already 100 Rand because I have to pay the taxes and the fee for the postwomen. There are 3,300 Rands left for you. $3,300. This is the money paid by Pro Helvetia. So what is Pro Helvetia? I will read it to you as they describe it on their homepage. Pro Helvetia is established by the Swiss government to promote cultural works of international interest, also in South Africa. This foundation is entirely funded by public money. I'm happy to inform you that this cultural work of international interest that you can see right now is a little present from the people of Switzerland. They also have a logo. Add to that the costs of the production, their energy wasted tonight or this afternoon, their publicity, poster prints, and graphic design, the author rights, the curator of the tour, the photographer and the video team, the airtime and the taxi fare. Finally, respecting the fact that there is no income for selling tickets, it costs about 12,000 Rands. That we are here together right now. Please enjoy this moment together with me. That moment was worth 25 Rand, as every second of this performance costs our sponsors about 5 Rand. That's why we better start now with this performance lecture, because that is what we are paid for. We have 35 minutes left. Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Halfbread Technique. Thank you for coming. What is Halfbread Technique? Let's take it from the top. Halfbread Technique is the act of giving away half of something that you have. To whom? To someone who might have a need for it. For those who are not so text-oriented and more visual and more into visual things, I will try to show it to you without words. course, billionaires. They are the earliest examples of practicing the half-bread technique. They gave 50% of their entire money to people who have a need for it. Well done. Or let's have a look at the family Selwyn. An American family made an extra, and they wrote a book that became a bestseller. So well done. Another example, look at me. I'm a freelancer in art business, working a lot in Switzerland. And as Switzerland luckily has all the money from dictators and tax evaders from all over the world, we do not have a lot of money. And consequently, we do have a lot of support for culture, and consequently, I do get my part of it. Well done. As I've learned from Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and the family Selwyn, the act of giving makes you a good human being and gives even cruel people a halo. And if you watch closely, you can even make more money with it, like FBX, by selling a book or becoming famous. That's why I decided to also practice the half-bread technique. Last time I was in South Africa, I met Sivubuhle. He's a good dancer and is in need of money, and he likes to share as well. And here he is, Sivubuhle. This is half of the money. Thank you for sharing. Dear ladies and gentlemen, please notice that this is not about pleasing someone. The pleasure is all yours. The pleasure is in the pure act of giving. Look at me. I still have a lot of space and a lot of money. I have an idea. Half of the stage and half of the money. Who takes half of half of half of half of the stage and half of half of the money? Who takes half of half of half of half of half of half of the stage and half of half of the money? Who wants to get coffee for drinks? Coffee and drinks? Yeah? Great. Anyone in need of clothes? I would give half of my clothes away, but only if someone has less clothes than me. I'll give you a chance. You have 5 seconds to take it off. 1. Someone is interested to get half of my chewing gum? I can give you half of mine. Now it's your turn, people. You have too much space to sit. Can you please all move to the right side? To the right side.
So yes, now I'm taking out the half of my photo. Taking out the half of my photo.
Who gets the other half? We have 4 minutes left. Ladies and gentlemen, dear performing artists, we're getting to the very profound level of the halfbread. Let's give half of the time.
Someone who might have you. Imagine a person you could give your time away. Someone that is not here right now and will be happy to receive some time. We have, and we start right now. Please feel free to do whatever you want and enjoy it double.
DJ. Tell I don't see you. Yeah, for right now, you need to see
on your own when you are back at home. If you think about it, there are many beautiful and unexpected benefits that is impossible to predict the final outcome. Yeah.
half of the applause. Someone has a need of it. Who never gets applause. Clap. What? It's supposed to be clapped. Okay, that was half. Now the other half, please, for us.
One more thing. Who wants to share my fame and my recognition as a good human being? Who wants half of it? Wait. Who wants to share my fame and my being a good human being? Please give half of your admiration and your compliments about this performance to this person with the medal when you go out. And the other half to me. That's the only thing I have. Ah, no. Where is my drinking partner? Let's skip the dinner and go straight to the bar, and we will wait for the others. Thank you.
So I want to take this time also to see how to way to make a speaker of God. My man, on the confused. Facilitator based on the plane with and then sneaking OCC, get your money right. I asked on Iman, so anyone who needs or if not regular. Yeah, I mean.
Find out about what's the whole idea of using the brain. I can understand the money, but what's the idea of the one loaf of bread?
Oh, basically,
Hello?
good. The aim, actually, the reason why we're using the bread is like it was supposed to be half, like she did the first time, and then from there it was supposed to circulate, share it until the end of the half. And then with me, I'm totally the opposite, actually, the opposite of everything. I've got the whole space, like the whole land, the piece of land, it's mine, I own it, I've got money. I'm forgetting that somebody gave me this money, actually. So instead of sharing my money and my land, so I decided to keep everything to myself. So it doesn't make sense. Can you understand? Yeah. So the bread, the aim was to, when you break it into half, it was supposed to go until the last piece of the bread. That's sharing. So, and at the same time, we don't mind if you decide to keep everything to yourself, it's okay. But what we're trying to highlight is the fact that people need to share in order for us to survive as a nation. You know what I mean? To share everything. That's the aim.
Thanks for the title. We divide our society. We races, we tribalism. Oh, not here, England. Okay. Capitalism is sense in Dogmanasing identifying a culture in order for us to communicate, we see English. Then we'll only make sense as it is English. So we know that capitalism divides society into various segments. Racism, tribalism, gender inequalities, going in a class, you know, and the answer is xenophobia. And I mean, let's set up the whole half of bread that you handle. It is justifiable in church. It is even said that you are blessed, the blessings. And that the one that got the little bit, the last bit of bread, is blamed because it is your fault that you only got this small piece when it is because you are cursed, you need more prayers from Jesus. It would have been nice that that part was a bit highlighted. But I mean, I get the point. We saw even Nelson Mandela there getting the Nobel Peace Prize, you know, and other African leaders. I mean, because what that says is that if you say the right things, you'll be awarded. We also saw Robert Mugabe sitting in this audience. He did not even get the crown because he was saying the wrong things to those that are in power. And goes.
Throughout the whole thing, ngoba ndivele ndanika imali and khange ndenze ifokolo kodwa ngicaba okay qhubeka ntoni ya cha inene yayiqaphela pha uba okay lento ibithetha ngubhuntu kwangutata ngwami pha uba abanye abantu bane space esincinci then kubekho ubhuntu lo abefika eqaleni wabe ne space esikhulu wabe nesonga and then wasitya wasikhupha so ke mina ke ndinayithatha la nto okay njembe sitya noba mhlambi yena bekhonyu ebindiwe cha ndina njemba thina sifumane le mali apho isuka khona ibininzi yabo so thina sifumana eza lamthamo udikiwe kukutya ngoso usinika lamthamo yabo ndiyibona ngolohlobo ndihamba mhlawumbe ndiyibona wrong ngoba uye wayitho wayileqa futhi asonga sabe sikhutshiwe enye ihalf ikhutshiwe pha washiyana nala half wayileqa la half and then nayo uyabona uba hey uyakhonyulwa but then wayikhupha ke ngoba so laa nto kumye yapainta enye into ngoba ndinayijonga artistic kuba okay hame sinikwa umthamo. No, like as you can as well highlight greediness about the whole thing, that I'm trying to have the whole bread alone, even if I know that I cannot even finish this whole bread. You know, at some point it's about like full, you know. Instead of like sharing this bread, I decide to keep everything to myself until there's a song as a ball and then I end up throwing it into the dustbin, you know what I mean? Instead of saying, no man, this is too much for me, I cannot have this alone, let me just share. You know, so in other ways it's greed, you know, just to accompany your statement. That's what, you know.
I like this idea, because now it's something new, and it's the first time I'm hearing about it. So what I'd like to say is keep it up, guys. Keep it up, guys. Like to the founder and making the idea. God bless.
So you but seriously, most of people like go to get this this loaf of bread. But instead of sharing with other people, I will go to my families, my sisters, my half-sisters, my half-brothers, and share this bread. When I'm like, that piece is shaking there, after your family. That's what is going on exactly. So I don't want to be making a community doesn't exist. I exist because Commander Mandela is a woman, I became a lack but Mandama's good here. Instead of Baku Nancy Man, watching them and what about your brothers, South Antonio. You understand? That's the way I know it too.
Eat this part of the bread. You can buy a loaf of the bread, and then they don't eat this part. It crust in it. Yeah, it's cooked. They don't eat this thing. I'm like shocked. What is happening? And then this everybody takes this thing into the dead bin. I'm like,
which people are in which ones?
People are in Cape Town. Most people they don't eat this thing.
So now in Cape Town, just
white people.
Is it you?
What race?
Oh, I think people are like, hey, let me just put it like that.
White people.
White or black? White or black? White. Both. Oh, and I see.
The power that comes with the capital So are we expected to actually share? Because I mean, take for instance Mutsepe. If Mutsepe is asked to actually take the money and share with the community, and actually now we know him as this person who's on top, who's got everything, who's got foundations and everything. And everyone looks up, I want to be like him, even though we know that we won't actually, it's the space that has been created for him. So how do we actually, like, how are we saying we must do this? Where do we start? Do we start with Warren Buffett on top saying, Warren Buffett, actually this stolen money that you have, bring it back to Africa or share it with people, and then it goes down to people until to the last person. The other half of bread was actually shared. I was actually laughing with Unkwame. By the time it got there, it was a small piece like this. The first guy got a bigger piece. So how do we look at the capital and the power that actually, and say, you know what, people first and then profit actually. How do we, I don't know if I'm clear.
Decided to embark on this project because this project, Halfbread Technique, is our idea of how to inspire people to start asking this question: how do we deal differently with what we have already, and how we share it differently? What is the next step for this Ubuntu philosophy of sharing and considering people? How do we actually practice it with resources, with materials, with money? So what we showed you today is an example how to share and to enjoy sharing, and not to do it charity, like just for that. But we actually saw that sharing can be fun. And we hope to inspire someone here in the audience, or maybe more than someone, to think, okay, how do I actually create the society to be that kind of society tomorrow? We don't have the answer, but we want to share the question, and we want to share it in a group, and to talk about it together, because whatever idea we can get, we must practice it together.
Just to song and then was posa pants, like was possibly close to our fan of and then you were like to be the in the my zod land the part and the minister and only one. You know, like I've got everything, so if you want it, you must come and kiss my toes first, or you know, or do funny things, nasty things to you before you, humiliation as well. Before you get that, you need to, I don't know, feel like an animal or what first, you know, because I've got everything. So I'm the boss. So you must dance first. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Dance.
With the whole concept of capitalism, right? This is my understanding of it. Somebody works hard, gets the money, and then the play kind of was passing on a message that I pass on half of my riches, I'll give it to the community. So I'm not sure if it's a question or it's whatever it is. My thing is, are we expecting that people who have worked and have made it to share, or should we rather teach those that haven't made it to actually find a way to actually be in that position, whereby you don't sit down and you become a somewhat sort of charity case? So, yeah, that is my point.
Necessarily should be our bread ticket. There are many ways of providing our food and our basic needs, and the idea that I must work in order to have those basic needs, only to survive, to have a shelter, water, and food. Today I must work. I'm born already owing money to the society, and I must justify it by working. This logic, I actually personally think we should challenge, because my motivation to work should be my passion to share my creativity or whatever skill I have with you and with you and with him. If my passion to work is just to pay my bills, then obviously I will look at it in very selfish way. And the fact that we are educated to necessarily work in order to have it, and then to look at those who are not working as lazy people, I think this is one of the side effects of capitalism that I would like to challenge. Not everybody has to work 8 hours 5 times a week in order to just provide for their basic needs.
We are then putting out message that says, because I mean, with what we're portraying, the rest of the person is sharing the money, right? And the other one has half of the bread and is sharing with the rest of the community. Now, if the rest of the community, sorry to put it like that, but a black man's mentality is to ask from the government that you must give. I challenge that, change that mentality and actually give resources and teach people how to actually get these skills to get themselves to a position where they don't have to ask for sharing or expect it. I don't know if you understand that.
Wondering about that, because I feel like if you look at this play, what's going to motivate him to share more than the half he's already shared? And I think this is human nature. When someone feels that I've already given and it's enough, how do you get them to give more? Because then at some point they're going to get to the point where they go, I'm the one that's giving, and there's people that are taking. Even within our own families as black people, we see this. There's often that one person that is the breadwinner. I saw it with my own family, with my mom. And she gave, but everybody's taking. And at which point do we get to support ourselves and learn to be responsible for our own lives when we share as black people, that's true. But when my mother, when she was the one that went down, nobody else in the family had the skills to carry her because she was the one that was constantly sharing. So she didn't have anyone at the end because nobody had bothered to become entrepreneurial and do their own thing. So this is the problem that I have with just teaching, sharing, instead of teaching other people to take that money. Yes, I share that money, but take it and do something with it so that you can then be rich and go on and share with the next person. Even if you're not rich, but you can do something that shares with the next person, and the next person then gets empowered to share with the next person. This is how we build a society. It's not just we share and that's the end of it.
A way to start with all of this. But the one thing I really wanted to stress out was the fact that I'm going to put South Africa because we are in South Africa at the moment. Africa is like the whole entire continent is Africa. That's a different aspect as well at the other countries. But in South Africa, what is really needed is the resources of education. Firstly, to begin with, if everybody is well educated in the sense that there are skills that are actually helping people to develop their own ways of actually making their own businesses. Then there will not be any situations where people feel that, oh no, let's go give to the poor black people. Because the problem that I have is the fact that consistently black people are the ones that are noted to be poor. Exactly. Black people are the ones that are noted to be dying of diseases. Black people are the ones that are noted to have these issues. And that is the problem. That's the problem, that no black person wants to be labeled as that. No black person wants to be labeled that we live in this type of situation. We are suffering in this way. People are looking at us. It's tiring. It's tiring for people to come and film, let's film the poor black people, show the nation that poor black people are living in these conditions. That needs